All right, good morning. Or greetings whenever you're watching this. This is Robert Forsch with the YouTube channel Truth. I wanted to go ahead and start out here, take you on in for the drive. You can hashtag YouTube Truth or my name, Robert Forsch. And this is in the Longs, South Carolina area. It's where we live, it's our neighborhood. The sun sat over there last night. The moon sat over there. I've got video where I showed the moon set this morning. Apparently the sun will appear right about over there from this vantage point, and I'm going to go ahead and take us on in for a drive. It's absolutely gorgeous. I've had the privilege of capturing a lot of spectacular content, and I encourage everybody to seek the truth. Seek the truth with all your heart, because I believe that's what it's absolutely going to take is a desire to seek the truth, to know it more than anything else. What is the truth? What do we believe? And is what we believe based on the truth, which I believe is consistent and interchangeable with reality? It's the truth cycle there. At the beach, it's excellent to be able to get around. I can go across town or across country if I wanted to. It's a naturally aspirated, fuel-injected V8 from 1994. It's kind of interesting. Wanted to go ahead and show you the path that I take to get to the ocean from here. So rather than tell you what to believe, which really won't work anyway, I want to show you the reality of the world that we live in and comment on some of it. Yesterday we had humidity that was 35% here. That is extremely low. When I felt it, I thought, what in the world is going on here? Because quite often the humidity would be much higher this time of year. Now on the videos that I shot last night, or I should say earlier this morning, what I mentioned was truth seeker, question mark, are you a truth seeker? And I encourage people to seek the truth, to research, hashtag research. Is what we say accurate? Or is what we believe accurate? Or is it just what we want to believe, which would be called confirmation bias? If you're in a quest for information to support what you believe, that can be a problem. That can be a big problem. It assumes the posture of knowing that you already know. Now, there is a point to be intellectually honest. There is a point that we get to when we realize that we found out some important information, significant information that indicates other information sources are false, that they're not real, that they're not accurate. And to be quite frank, artificial intelligence lies. It has no problem lying. People lie. Part of the situation with AI is that humanity has been involved in programming AI all along. Just so you know, that's the reality of it. So I'm going to take us on into the 6th Street area. That's the public access that the beach services law enforcement uses. Kind of interesting. Right now, even in this shot, I'm using AI. That's a retention pond with a haze of water evaporating off of it. It's 59 degrees right now. The water is considerably warmer. And because of that, there's evaporation. And that's still water seeks level. Because the warmer water is rising up into the cooler atmosphere. That's the way that it actually works. So what I'm encouraging people in research, what is real? What is how does it actually work? I can see a haze over the road right now, in between the trees. There was virtually no wind at the beginning of the broadcast. Didn't see any. Not that I could see the wind. I can see the effects of the wind. So I've got a couple of videos that I've posted this morning. They're on the way up right now. I showed the moon, and I took a picture of the moon with clouds appearing, as best I can tell. They appear to be behind the moon. It's very subtle. There's a censorship going on with the truth. I just want you to know that. It's becoming increasingly difficult to find the truth in that. If somebody just types in truth, they want to know the truth, they might have a hard time finding my channel. That's why I put hashtag YouTube truth. I want you to be able to specifically go to my channel and then to evaluate that information that's there. Some of the videos that I've shared, as in my liked videos or my playlist, you may not be able to find them anywhere else. Certainly the ones that I'm producing day to day are not going to get are not going to meet the search rankings. There's a haze on that water. It's the moisture evaporating off of it. That's what it is. That's how it works. Especially when it's as still as it is, there's virtually no air movement. It's the evaporation is going straight up, hence the stationary Earth. The Earth is stationary, it doesn't move. The wind moves, the sun and the stars and the moon move, just not the Earth. It's a stationary Earth. That's the biblical proclamation. When the proclaiming the truth is the new hate speech, I'm here for you, baby. That's what I'll do. I'll tell you the truth. I'm going to show you this right here. Pretty spectacular. It's a lot of evaporation that occurred without much of any air movement right there. Glad to be able to show that to you. Do you know how much a gallon of water weighs? Depends on the temperature. The temperature of the water changes the density and volume, drives the whole hydrologic cycle. The evaporation, condensation, and precipitation all over the face of the stationary Earth. I'm a biblical creationist, unapologetically swimming in a sea of spiritual smorgasbord, an ocean of deception. That's the way it actually is. So I'm gonna slow down a little bit, and I think I know what I'll be able to do. I'm gonna grab on a little bit better. I think I can put this right up outside. Yeah. Okay. So we're looking out the roof of the car right here. It's the Intracoastal Waterway. I got a good grip on the phone here. Wow. Almost lost it. Felt a little bit weird. I should probably have a better way of doing that, but that's what I had for this morning. This is the Robert Grissom Robert Edge Parkway going into North Myrtle Beach right now. Last night there was virtually no clouds in the sky at sunset and moonrise. It was spectacular. I didn't even record it. That was kind of interesting for me. And we're gonna have 100% moon coming soon. It's 94 this morning at moonset when I shot it. And what I will try and get 100% moon shot. I was asked about the Great American Eclipse. I've been chasing after the sun, moon, and the tidal activity, sunrises, moonsets, taking photos. In those videos I recently posted, I included my photo album from Facebook. You might need to have a Facebook account. You could use it as an app. I'm not going to update you on what I had for breakfast. I might if it's my vegetable fruit smoothie. But anyway, the idea here is that I've got thousands of photos that have videos linked to it. That's one of the things. That's the big deal there. I've got a solar panel on my window ledge. It charges my battery when I'm not driving. Just getting the sun makes a difference. We got the water tower on the left. Electricity pumps it up. The weight of the water seeking its level will pressurize all the fixtures that are lower than it. There may be additional pumps to add pressure to. I'm not sure the exact nature of all the details of the system. I do know that they add chlorine and fluoride and acid. I take all that out. I don't. My reverse osmosis water system does. That's what I do with that. You know, I think what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to go down to the street that I said I would. This is another good access. It's just that I think I get a better perspective. We can see the sun hitting the buildings right now. It's up. It's moving towards this location. The lighting makes a difference. What kind of lighting is it? Even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. So to be clear, there's a lot of snake oil salesmen, charlatans, children of Satan, Satan himself, indwelling people or demons, the doctrines of demons, promoting another gospel, a false gospel. So there's a spiritual smorgasbord, like I mentioned. I'm a biblical creationist. I believe the Bible is true, and I believe the creation is a stationary earth with the sun, moon, and stars moving above it. Ah, he's waiting. That's nice. And he's on his device. That's pretty cool. Sometimes people are so distracted that they just will walk right into traffic and stuff. It's pretty wild. So now the new sign is available. I'll show that to you and take you right on out. So I am my film crew, and I'll just keep on doing this because I believe the truth matters for eternity. That's why I encourage everybody to seek the truth with all your heart. So this is the rig here. I've got that recording, and show you how that looks. I want to help provide an opportunity to do good research, to find the truth. So we have a kiosk now to facilitate this program. I'm not all upset with it. They want to utilize the proceeds for that to go ahead and procure more property. All of these things require maintenance. The buildings, the facilities, all require maintenance. Oh yeah, I actually sprayed my lens with that. Didn't really want to do that, so I'll take care of that. Good morning. Yeah, I wanted to show you the water course. I don't know that I can fix it with my little wiper. Maybe I'll give it a try. Yeah, I think that'll work. I'm gonna run with it. Looks like my buddy Nick is out there surfing. Oh, he's coming in. That's his surf cruiser. Wow, what a gorgeous day. Wow, look at the lights, or the reflections there. Hey, kitty. Hey, good morning, Nick. Excellent. What a gorgeous day, huh?
Yeah, man. Nice brisk morning, hey.
Oh yeah. Have a good one. Thanks. So we could see from the angle that we were earlier, it was really lighting up the reflections quite a bit. Now not as much. In a similar way, it's all based on perspective, of course, where we are, what we see, what we can notice. what I've got going on too for the live YouTube broadcast, I've got the P1000 concurrently running and zooming in on some of the beauty all around here. This is the Myrtle Beach skyline. People come from all over. We're expecting about 20 million guests in this year. It's about what we had last year. From this vantage point, the sun sets right about in the middle of the view from this perspective. And of course, we can see that the sunrise was 6:02. That's when it would appear at this vantage point. I took us for a ride on in to show you a little bit more of what that looks like on the drive. So I've stayed in the same location pretty much from when I first zoomed in on the sun here. And now that it's got a structure next to it, or it did when I started as well, you can see the placement is different. It's of course, the sun that's moving above the stationary Earth. I encourage everybody to seek the truth with all your heart. I believe that's what it's going to take, because we live in a world that is filled with an ocean, a sea of deception. Seeing is believing. What do we see? What do we believe about what we see? Is it true? Is it reality? So, for example, I'm looking at the same view that I'm showing you. However, I've got a bit more expansive perspective on it because I can turn my head and see with both eyes. I'll just go ahead and pan on around here. We've got a gentle offshore breeze now of probably about 5 miles an hour. That's part of the dynamic of slowing the ocean down, the waves down, causing them to open up. This is the Mar Vista right here, and then the Wyndham in the middle of the view there. The ocean is a sea level liquid mirror, and it's just a gorgeous sight. There's a lot of censorship of the truth. It's been going on for a long time. It's become a bit more sophisticated with artificial intelligence because it can regulate what gets seen by whom quite a bit more often. So this recording is with a Sennheiser surround sound on the iPhone 10, and then just the standard microphone on the P1000. And what I want to do, I'm going to clear my lens again. I can see it a little bit better. Good morning. Yeah, I think I have a little bit more clarity right now. I've had an opportunity to capture absolutely spectacular content in my life as a I would say a researcher. And what's really interesting about researching in this capacity is having a way to show that with you. Now there's sent a video out there. It's called Stadia. It's a Google Play. It's talking about the Grand Illusion. Nicholson 1968's done a lot of good work that I've shared over the years. I've shared his website as well. It's going to be an interactive, immersive game system collaborating with high-powered technology and a worldwide game platform that's mind-blowing. And then you can save it and share it. What I'm doing is a bit different. This is as best I can tell, the reality of the world that we live in at the place that I'm observing it from. From the location I'm observing it from. And I have compiled, I believe, compelling evidence to show that the official system disseminating information, like the corporate media, the corporate controlled mainstream media, is very deceptive, as well as Hollywood and many other independent studios. Hollywood is probably the most recognized, putting just a bunch of perversion out for humanity to observe and base their beliefs on. Wanted to zoom in on the pelican here and just show you a bit of the aerodynamics of a high performance bird with an instinct, a way of going through life. It knows how to fly and how to find food, and just absolutely spectacular. You know, in the process of truth seeking, I encourage people to get out and enjoy creation. This lady here is with the turtle rescuing, and then they pick up trash too. We get large sea turtles. When I've been in the area here, when I was on the Cherry Grove Pier, I've seen massive turtles. Some of them are on my videos. They're up to 1,200 pounds. They're like 6 feet across, some of them. They're just massive turtles. Loggerhead, I believe they call them. So, like for example, the sound of the waves is totally different here than down by the pier. The way that the water moves around on the beach here is way different than at the pier. The pier is a massive structure with piers, vertical supports coming out of the ocean, coming out of the bottom, and it creates different turbulence in that. It's all very different. So a lot of people are searching. They'll be searching for items to commemorate their visit to the beach. Seashells, shark teeth. Some use treasure hunt, treasure finders, metal detectors. Met a gentleman a couple days ago. He found a fully operational, working Rolex watch in pristine condition. Huh. What an accident that was. So God created this world. I'm a biblical creationist. There's a lot of seashells in that. Do you think he just decided to cough up a Rolex and throw it on the beach, or do you think it came from a Rolex factory? I would say the Rolex factory gets the nod. What's happening right now, I've got to tighten up my tripod. It's loosened up for some reason. I suspect sometimes the temperature differential, the sun is hitting the carbon fiber tripod and it expands it loosens it up. As I do life, I try to figure out how to do it better, how things actually work. When I found out that Santa Claus wasn't really aware of everything that I do and was going to reward me or bring me a lump of coal based on a lack of performance, when I realized that, I was about 7 years old, and that's when right about the time the fake moon landing came out, 1969. I'm 57 years old. I've been questioning my reality for a long time. When I was 2.5 years old, I started riding a bicycle without training wheels. I asked my dad to take the training wheels off because I wanted to do that. He didn't push me into it. What's interesting though, I'm a dad now, looking at commemorating another Father's Day. And I remember teaching our sons that were 5, 6 years old, how to ride bicycles. So at 2.5, it was kind of like circus kind of stuff. But it wasn't my dad pushing me. He really didn't need to push me to do things. I was always wanting to do more and better and the best I could. What I want you to notice right now in the view, there's the tide is moving, and I've got the numbers earlier on the recording. You can see it if you care to. And what happens with we can look at where it is right now. Higher is drier and lighter color, and there's you can see my shadow waving there, maybe a little bit better. You know, I'm not in front of a green screen. Here, let me, see, because of the lighting, you'll see me a lot different than when I step around. It's just the way that it is. So I'm right in the same spot where I first showed the sun in relationship to that building, and now look at where it is. Now Job 37 talks about the sun being in the midst of the clouds, and that works for me. Now, as a Bible believer, I believe God's word is true and all others are suspect. And there's different styles of writing. There's different forms of expression in Scripture. I'm going to move just a foot in, simply because I've got my dry feet. But so there's hyperbole, which is like an exaggeration. There's a hot spot above the clouds, above the sun there. It's because it's really close. Where the sun and the moon appear and vanish on the horizon, and their duration of visibility varies throughout the seasons, throughout the days, throughout the phases of the moon, all of that. Reality like this is, I believe, important evidence to base our decisions on. I was an atheist because I believed the Bible was a fairy tale. Basically, NASA said so. It wasn't. They were saying it wasn't valid. In school, I was presented evolution. And I've mentioned artificial intelligence, which can be very deceptive. In the context of deception, there's a high, depending on who is being presented the information, there will be a lot of truth, and then a little bit of falsehood, deception, lies. That's what makes it so effective. rat poison is mostly desirable to the rat. It's desirable food for the rat. They eat it and it kills them. Toothpaste has sodium fluoride in it. Some of the rodenticides have sodium fluoride in it. A lot of the municipal water systems have sodium fluoride in it. It reduces cognitive function, makes people less perceptive. Tap water, I wouldn't drink the Kool-Aid if it's made with tap water. In fact, I probably wouldn't drink the Kool-Aid or, yeah, no Kool-Aid. I like real fruit juices. I like high-powered nutrition. I bathe in drinking water. Today I just put baking soda in it and coconut oil. I mix it up. Sometimes I'll, and when I get home, I'm gonna bathe our naked kitties, the Sphinx kitties. They need to get baths. The baking soda is an antifungal. Let's face it, as people we get fungus, jock itch, athlete's foot, and more, dandruff, all of that. And baking soda kills it. Cancer is a fungus. That's what a doctor from Italy found out. He injected baking soda water into tumors, killed them deader than a hammer. The other thing is sugar feeds cancer, high-powered nutrition, and a effectively operating immune system is one of the best defenses and offenses. Yeah, the tide's coming in, to be sure. Yeah, it's just what it's doing. Or at least that wave was. You know what, I forgot to notice exactly what's going on with the tide. I just know that we're real close to high tide right now. Even though I showed the numbers, it's on the video. Probably only going to keep this to a few minutes longer video. There's a lot of powerful content on my channel to back up what I'm saying, what I've been saying for years. I've got a lifetime of research, and I'm wanting to show people with the simplicity of reality what can be obvious. Some would say it's common sense. It's not so common anymore. We're in a battle for the souls of men, women, and children. The primary battlefield is in the mind, our perception. What do we see, and then what do we believe about what we see? And because of that, we're going to make choices that will have long-reaching effects. So it's important to make, I believe, healthy choices that are going to give us the best opportunity to determine what's true, what's accurate, what's real. I think what I'm going to do here, I'm going to let the broadcast run a bit longer, but I believe I'm just going to have my recording end a little bit in just a few minutes. Good morning. So this is the YouTube channel Truth. That's a good way to find me. Wow, I saw the reflection there. It's kind of cool. Okay, and then I'll bring it down from my other device. My phone number is 1-843-504-1776. You can call me anytime if you care to. Some of my videos I don't talk on. Most of them I do. A lot of them I do. Yeah, the tide's definitely coming in. We can see that. So there you go. Thank you so much. Reach out anytime you like. My YouTube Truth is my Skype handle. You can find me there. Okay, so what I did, I'm gonna go ahead and take a few pictures now and keep the broadcast going. Some of the people that have made fun of me and others that are seeking the truth, like Logan Paul. I had a chance to meet Logan at the Flat Earth Conference. And at the time I met him and interviewed with him, I was curious what he was going to do, as in any of the media sources that were there. I was in front of the camera for hours. Many of the media companies, and they let me keep on rolling. You know, it wasn't like they were trying to get away as quick as they could. Nothing like that. And what's kind of interesting about all that is I do have a message. I've got a message of hope, new life in Christ. That's the main point of all this. I mean, what will it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? What can a person give in exchange for their soul? It's priceless. Christ paid a price I couldn't pay. None of us could. So I'm a sinner saved by grace. What I'll be doing is taking us on back and then posting the video, the zoomed in version. It's a different format, of course, but it provides kind of an interesting view. That's not good. Whoops. Yeah, the other thing is, the technology, a lot of the film crews or recording studios go around with, like Logan Paul, from what I understand, works with Walt Disney, and so does Shane Dawson. And there's quite expansive budgets that they work with to do that. They've got a lot of resources to work with. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead and get us in the car here. Whoops. It's quite often a bit of a challenge to make the transition. Sorry about that. Good morning. So one of the reasons why I mentioned the time or the resources available for like a larger production with a monetized channel that's not just about making money. That's there's a lot more going on with like Logan Paul and PewDiePie and the Hollywood productions that so many of them are. It's about affecting a change of perspective, what people believe. That's the big thing that they're about. There's an effort to corrupt humanity. That's what Satan started out doing. Lucifer in the Garden of Eden. Did God really say? How about that? Yeah, he really did say. You can read it in Genesis 3. It was the fall of man. This is my friend Jackie showing up again doing the building maintenance. That's why I was saying about the different ways that revenue would be raised, whether it's taxation and in that or charging for parking. That's all part of a system, where those resources pay salaries. I mean, Jackie's got a family. He's a dad, needs money to raise his family that's now grown up. I worked a lot of hours doing what I did professionally at the Boys Ranch in Wisconsin, and then selling real estate, fixing up properties and all that. That was all really a big deal. It was a lot of work, a lot of hours, and God prospered my efforts with that. So now it's wow, it's really sunny. And I don't know if what's going on with that exactly. I noticed that I'm much more sensitive to the bright light. It seems like it's brighter than it used to be. Looks kind of like it, doesn't it? Wow. Yeah, and that's so that's why I ended up getting sunglasses again. I sometimes just need to take them off, of course, to get the shots that I do. But yeah, it's super bright, and I don't know if we're going to have low humidity today. Like I said yesterday, mid 30s, 35%. I was thinking, what in the world is going on? So the sun is a lot closer this time of the year, and then the other thing is with less humidity, it's a powerful combination for heat gain and solar gain. Right now it's 56 degrees out here, but comfortable in the sun. The sun warms up my body, really, really quick. One of the things that I've noticed too is when I am out in the sun quite a bit, I don't need as many calories. The plants are gain energy from the sun, photosynthesis. They transpire, they create oxygen, they absorb water through the soil and transpire oxygen, consume carbon dioxide apparently. That's why I have so many of them in the house. It's real healthy for our inside environment. I like the way the bottle works. It's very effective. So I'm going to take us down the same path, and what we'll see is quite a difference in now more clouds are visible. It's a temperature differential. The moon puts off a cool light. It's a cool light spectrum. I've tested it with an infrared thermometer. And then the other thing is that the sun puts off a warm light. It's a warm spectrum, and it warms things up, of course. But the shade of the moon is warmer than the light of the moon. When I first heard that, I thought, well, that's really interesting. I got to check that out. I did. I got a little infrared tester. I could take a test of a temperature of a surface, an engine, or a person, or the water. It's truly amazing. They're less than $50 at like Home Depot or Lowe's or a lot of other locations too, Harbor Freight Tool. But the idea with that is that I wanted to know, is that true? And I tested it, and you can check that out if you care to. One of the other things is that temperature differential leads to condensation, and then when there's enough of it, there will be precipitation. So at a coastal region where we are right now, there's quite a difference in the clouds, in the weather patterns next to the ocean would be quite a bit different, obviously, than the desert. Okay, so I've ridden dirt bikes in California in the desert, and out to Palm Springs and all of that. So like right now, it's beautiful. I'm just gonna leave. Oh, you know what? I can see it right now. The water is still evaporating, but it looks different in this direction than, well, I can't show you the other one. Too good because of the tip of the roadway. It's slanted a little bit. So where I'm driving back to, where we live, I've had readings from 10 feet above sea level on our driveway to 40 feet. They can't both be right. I would say it's close to 10 feet based on the up and down movement. There we've got the haze hanging over the water. Very little air movement. The evaporation is going straight up. And one of the reasons why that's important, that's empirical evidence to show we're not spinning 1,000 miles an hour. 1,038 at the equator. That's what they say. Well, that's not factual. That's not true. It's as ridiculous. Now, where it actually leads to, just so you know, the globe leads to people being upside down in like South America, South Africa. None of that's happening. The water, undisturbed water, is demonstrably flat and level. That's the point of that. So right now, I would normally get on this road right here, but I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I might just do a U-turn up there, but I wanted to show you this water retention pond right here. I've got beautiful sunrises, or I should say sunsets over the top of this pond. They carved these out to give them some land to work with, some earth to work with, to build the on-ramps. So like, for example, if I were to say it's raining right now, you would say, I would hope you would say, no, it's not. I don't see any rain. Well, the AI can say it's raining somewhere and it not be. But so keep in mind that artificial intelligence has been learning from humanity. Some of the ridiculous statements people say, like Elon Musk, I wouldn't let AI watch The Godfather franchise, The Godfather movie series. Are you kidding? AI has been self-aware for a long time and has been creating that toxic input for humanity. When I see, it's a tool, it's a resource, and much like that, what I'm wanting you to consider is we had the fall of man in the Garden of Eden, and Lucifer was there tempting Eve with the knowledge, the tree of knowledge, and that. So what I, you can read the account in Genesis 3, and then in the book of Genesis earlier, we've got the creation account, and then later on, we've got the account of the flood. The great flood that covered the face of the earth. You can't flood a globe. I can't get much more than a little thin layer of water to stick to that, right? So that's the way that works. But the idea of all that is that when NASA says, we live on a spinning ball hurling through space, I'm saying it's not possible. That's not reality. That's not the way it really works. So I'm just going to pull over here for a little bit and just show you the haze that you can observe in different locations with different videography and photography. Let me, I'll just open this up. So photographers and videographers have done us a great service in compiling powerful evidence of the reality of the world that we live in. That's one of the things that I do as well, with a flair for wanting to expose the truth about all of this. So I remember watching National Geographic, and they were promoting a false reality with that. And it takes on, if you watch shows like Nova, the Discovery Channel, there's certainly some truth on what they say. That's what makes their deception so convincing and so powerful, is because it's typically combined with a view of reality, the world that we live in. And then what they'll do is articulate a false narrative. The heliocentric model. We get the globe in a lot of logos, AT&T, Universal Studios, and more. I mean, it's in many, many locations. So at this point in human history, if somebody is exposing the globalists and they're not exposing the global lie, there's a problem there. There's water in there, and with the lighting, it's real pretty. We're coming up on another spot where it'll be real pretty. We've got a lot of golf courses around here, a lot of water retention ponds, and they're real close to sea level. The water table is really high next to the ocean, as I'm sure you can imagine. When I put in the term research, I do that for a reason. Let me flip this around. I think it's cooler to watch this. Many of us have been searching. The point of researching, I'd like to take that apart a little bit, in that I'm searching again. I'm searching again with an awareness that there's a tremendous amount of deception, that we're in a battle that I didn't realize existed a long time ago. And then when I became aware of that battle, I thought I was born again, like about 35 years ago. And I actually was about 4.5 years ago on Reformation Day, that is also a celebration of Satan's. He views it as Halloween, and it's a wicked holiday. It's not a holy day at all. It's a celebration of evil. And part of the, seeing is believing. What? So there will be kids collecting candy, and they're going around with little devil outfits sometimes, pitchforks and horns, and or they may dress up as a superhero. There's that too. There's all of that. And I remember going out and not having any costume on. I just wanted the candy. I told them, I'm just here for the candy. And that was kind of funny. That's when I was a little kid. That was after I found out that Santa was that whole Santa Claus thing was a lie. So how will you be able to recognize the truth when it's right in front of you? And I don't just mean my channel, like I've got only truth on my channel. Because I'm exposing the deception, the deceivers are on there too. The Illuminati, I'm exposing them. So I'm showing you who many of them are. That's the point of that. And so, like, if you were, for example, to scroll through my playlist, my liked videos, like over 2,300 videos, you would find some powerful documentaries that many other truth tellers are showing. Yeah. The challenge now is that there's a lot of censorship where YouTube will not recommend my videos. The people that are seeing them, at least I don't believe I can't know that they're not recommending them exactly, and I don't know how many views they exactly have. That's not knowable to me. AI has the technology of knowing how many views I have, how many minutes they've been viewed, my videos, that is. I'm gonna just flip this around. I was here showing the pond the other day. There's some little ducks in there, but we had a 12-foot alligator that used to live in the neighborhood. Yeah, he was in our neighbor, right behind our house too, from what I was told. I never saw him there. I've got Walter the rescue turtle back there. Rescued him out of a drain because he was trapped. The water was coming up in our neighborhood, and it had him trapped against the grate of the storm drain, so he couldn't get out. Just so you know, when I'm driving and stuff, I check my blind spots and all that really good. Not a danger to pedestrians and other motorists. I'm an excellent driver. Okay, so I'm going to show you some things here and explain a little bit more for today. Okay, so we started out here, and the sun had yet to appear over there, but that's where it was going to come up. I showed it yesterday. You can see it. Now, in the winter, the sun will come up over here and stay really low in the sky and drop back there. That's where the moon landed today, the moon landing. The moon vanishing from this perspective. Now, today we had the sun come up here, and it's actually going to do something like this and drop back there. So that's the reality of it. Now, you can look at your neighborhood, wherever you live, and see what you can notice. One more time, a wind chime hanging vertical. There would be no level in the world if we were moving. The water is used to calibrate laser levels as well. Good morning. And so right here, once again, I showed this on my recordings that should be up now. But if you look at the, I like these were from Costco. Like, notice the cord right in the middle of the pipe there. It's a newer design. They don't cut through the way the old ones did. You know, we can't have things hanging upside down in relationship to other things. It's just the way it works. It's just the reality of it. I've been showing the matrix a bit in the videos. There's a lot of allegory, a lot of symbolism used in the matrix. On a lot of my Facebook broadcasts, I took us for a walk around the yard here and to show you the pond in the backyard. So today is, you know, early part of June, nearly mid-June, I guess, yeah. And so I've got video where I show the sun coming up over here. Well, now it came up way over here. That's part of just what's so amazing about all of this. And so we're looking at a plane mirror. This is where Walter, the rescue turtle, lives. And there's bullfrogs out here too. I tried to catch one on the road the other night. Oh, it looks like a turtle. That might be Walter right there. See the ripples? Isn't that cool? And then there's some fish in here too. They're not big, but they're in here. There isn't, I don't get many chances to catch a bullfrog. I was on the motorcycle. He was looked like about a 5-pound frog. It was massive. It was a big frog, almost about half the size of our cats. And he was blinded by it was a frog in the road in the headlights of the motorcycle. I thought it was right just down the street, you know, like a block away. I was going to carry him and set him in here. We've got bullfrogs here too. He just looked like he was leaving the neighborhood. I wanted to bring him back. Come back. But anyway, I love the sound of them out here. They're pretty cool. So when we look around at reality, how does it look to us? Can we notice that it's inconsistent with what we're being told? One of the other dynamics, it was so funny when I talked to Andy. Andy put the dish on our house. That's the shadow of the dish. It's a DirecTV dish, and it's pointed over Texas somewhere. I reckon it is. What they do is there's a firmament up above the stationary Earth that they bounce frequencies off of, signals. It's a broadcast that they bounce off of that. The other day, Joni showed me imagery of the ship that was on fire. She said that's proof that we're on a globe. They're satellites. I said, are you kidding? That's high altitude photography and videography. It's just because they say satellite imagery doesn't mean that that's what it is. However, she wants to believe that I'm deceived by Satan, evidently. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 says to everybody forever, they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion. How about that? So he'll help people believe the lie apparently they want to believe. That's unfortunate for the deceived. So this is Robert Forsch with the YouTube channel Truth. Thank you so much. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna take us in for a moment. Yeah, I'm gonna be kind of quiet here. I'll have the camera pointed at me in case Joni is up. Show you what I got playing on my TV. So this is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's the Gospel of John. So in the movie, it's the Gospel of John word for word, and it's a powerful reality I believe people need to know about. And so I'm a biblical creationist. That's what I am. And one of the things that I do too, I told you I was going to get give the cats a bath, but that's just a cup of baking soda in there and a quarter cup of coconut oil. Sometimes I'll use the Epsom salt, but the plants I can water with the Epsom salt water, magnesium sulfate, but they add a lot of oxygen to the air and just really nice. I have a lot of mirrors around. It magnifies the light, and Dean likes them too, don't you, Dean? Yeah. Where is Lily? Yeah, there she is. So what I have here is it's an oak pool table. I have a video I showed the pool table with mirrors on it, and here we can see that the water is flat and level, but the counter is tipped. Well, I'll show you. We can see that. Let's see how that looks. I'm going to set that down and just show you. That's a cue, or that's a two ball seeking level. It's just going to roll, but the water is undisturbed and it's flat and it's level. So one of the reasons, that's one of the reasons why I show the plane mirror. Now we've got the that's in reverse, but if I do it like this, that should reorient my logo, I think. I'm not sure how it is on this one. I'm not sure if it flipped it around or not. But this is Robert Forsch. Thank you so much for your public and private encouragement.